Hey everyone, let's go to the charts. We got some movement in gold and silver. In fact, it looks like gold jumped above 1350 for a short period of time and settled in at 1345. That's a pretty good move there. We're trying to get to 1360 and see if we can sustain it. Silver. Silver is currently 14.97 and it is went up from 14.8. So we were slightly above 15 for again a short period of time. So looks like we're making some progress here. Let's take a quick look at platinum. Platinum started the day at 790 and it's currently at 802. So that's making some progress too. Now, there's an interesting article about on silver doctors fighting the resistance. Gold and silver on the offensive against the cartel right now. Gold is testing 1360 again, and silver just punched through $15 only for a very short time. As today we get the breakout. While the FOMC weeks can generally be quiet in regard to market action, we've got some sweet action in the metals this morning. Notice the dollar isn't really breaking down either. What is prompting the potential breakout? Well, there's a whole Iran war buildup going on, but additionally, President Trump is talking currency manipulation again. So Mario Draghi just announced more stimulus would come, which immediately dropped the euro against the dollar, making it unfairly easier for them to compete against the USA. They have been getting away with this for years, along with China and others. European markets rose on comments unfair to U.S. made today by Mario D, which is another way of saying the dollar is too strong. There's a lot of time left before the opening bell. Also, Tuesday cotton report, parlor tricks, so it's way too early to tell right now whether this is the breakout. Now, the curious thing is there was another tweet. I guess it's not in here, but Trump tweeted, well, I guess maybe I'm going to have to put some tariffs on the euro. And that's not in this article, but gold has a beautiful golden cross. However, on the 3-day chart, we're within spitting distance of the breakout. Silver's 3-day chart shows why I say when silver finally turns, it's going to turn hard. Silver has a ton of catching up to do to gold. Silver is money, just like gold is money, so the catch up is indeed coming. And those super price spikes, those $100 pops in gold or $1 pops in silver, yep, that's right, coming too. So very soon, yes, stack accordingly, $50. Well, I thought you might be interested to know that there's an article in here indicating the U.S. is planning massive tactical assault against Iran in a UN report. Um, Breaking reports from the Jerusalem Post and others, the White House has been holding incessant discussions since Friday regarding plans to carry out a tactical assault on Iran. The report states the bombing campaign will be massive but limited in scope until Iran retaliates to a specific Iranian target related to its nuclear program. Is the U.S. going to attack Iran soon? Diplomatic sources at the UN headquarters in New York revealed to Maarev that they are assessing the United States' plans to carry out a tactical assault on Iran in response to the tanker attack in the Persian Gulf on Thursday. According to the officials, since Friday, the White House has been holding discussions involving senior military commanders, Pentagon representatives, and advisors to Donald Trump. The military action under consideration would be an aerial bombardment of an Iranian facility linked to its nuclear program, the officials further claimed. The bombing will be massive but limited to a specific target. The decision to carry out the military action against Iran was discussed in the White House before the latest report that Iran might increase the level of uranium enrichment. The officials also noted the United States plans to reinforce its military presence in the Middle East and in the coming days, and I saw a report about sending another 1,000 soldiers out there. The report further states that pushing for war with Iran is Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and President Trump himself unenthusiastic about military action against Iran, has conceded. The sources added that President Trump himself was not enthusiastic about a military move against Iran, but lost his patience on the matter and would grant Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who's pushing for action, what he wants. If the U.S. actually carries out such an attack against Iran, expected immediate Iran's response to be twofold. Immediate full attack on U.S.S. Abraham Lincoln Strike Group assets. IRGC officials recently publicly stated their missile capabilities can easily hit U.S. carrier groups in the Gulf. To sum up a recent national interest article on the risk level Iran's missiles pose to the U.S. Navy, to be worried. Immediate full attack on Israel by all Iranian military groups and proxies: Iran, IRGC, Hezbollah, Syria, Palestinian, Islamic Jihad, Hamas, etc. We're talking about the potential fulfillment of Psalm 83, Isaiah 17, and Ezekiel 38, followed by Jeremiah 50 and 51, among others. While we are certainly happy that zero is no longer around, someone may want to help the president remove his tweet from 2013, where he stated that I predicted a long time ago that President Obama will attack Iran because his inability to negotiate properly, not skilled. Thursday morning, we warned that everything had just changed. We may be about to see why. So that's not good. All right, we've talked about Roundup before, and they've been regularly testing children's cereals, and they're still disappointed that the Roundup is showing up at fairly high levels. And especially with children's bodies still developing, it makes them more susceptible to things than adults. But in any event, 21 oat-based cereal and snack products such as Cheerios tested positive for traces of glyphosate, the chemical's active ingredient in Roundup. I was trying to see, I saw something. Oh, here we go. The two highest levels of glyphosate were detected in Honey Nut Cheerios, which, by the way, that's what I eat because I can't eat anything with wheat, and yet this could be also contributing, but it really calms my stomach down a lot of times having this oatmeal type stuff. But Medley Crunch and Cheerios at 833 parts per billion and 729 parts per billion respectively. The group said it considers anything over 160 parts per billion to be unsafe for children. However, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has a far higher threshold of glyphosate content ranging from 0.1 to 310 parts per million than per billion. Even though several juries have found in favor of cancer patients claim their illness was linked to glyphosate exposure, there are conflicting scientific studies. So one thing we got to keep in mind is just because you can measure it doesn't mean it's dangerous, but it still is something to be concerned about. The problem with Roundup is it's a systemic type herbicide, and that means it gets pulled up into the plant, and then they're also, we've discussed before, they're misusing it by spraying it all over the plant because it releases more of the grain. So anyways, this is not really great news here. I think everybody ought to be careful with, unfortunately, what we feed our children. But think about it. I mean, cereal, that's been good grief. As long as I've been alive, we've been eating cereal. Now here's something you don't see that often. I mean, you hear about meats and stuff being recalled with salmonella, but here's flour. This is really unusual. I didn't understand what the source was, how this could have happened, but this is something really strange. So Pillsbury flour is recalled due to salmonella fears, and so Publix, Winn-Dixie are the primary ones that are recalling, but most of this stuff has all been sold and people have it at their homes. But there's, I'll put the link in, but there's some dates of April 19, 2020 and April 20, 2020. April 20, 2020. That's an interesting one. Anyways, just wanted you to be aware of that one. Now, we talked about getting rid of our cell phones the other day and potentially just turning off GPS and whatever, but here's There's actually some ailments that articles back in 2015 I had remembered where people were getting text neck, and it's just because of the way they bend over to view their phones instead of bringing their phone up to eye level. Like when you sit at a desk, it's sitting straight across from you, and you don't get this particular issue. But in any event, people have been getting all kinds of problems: upper back pain, nagging pain to sharp, severe upper back muscle spasm, shoulder pain, um, pinched nerves, all these kind of things that radiate down your arm into your hand. Um, Another article just came out today that talks about and this was on Zero Edge, morphological adaptation, smartphones now transforming the human skeleton. And people are actually getting a bone spur on the back of their head, and it's external occipital protuberance, a lump in the back of the head believed to be caused by the body reacting to smartphone use, growing new bone layers on the back of the skull. I'm trying to feel back here to see if I've got this. I feel a lump back there, but I don't remember if that was there before. Anyways, this was strictly boomers initially, but now the millennials are starting to show up. I guess it takes years for this to occur, but I'll put the link in here so that you can look at it. But this could be a problem down the road. We are just, freaking addicted to these things, and it's probably just time to turn them off. Plus, just the amount of radiation people are, putting through their heads, soft tissue by your eyes, everything else. Hey, I hope everybody's treating you well. I hope you're doing well. Do the best you can. God bless.